Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Tay. Very easy to remember if you're a Swiftie. And this is actually my very first video, so she is the youngest person ever. And today I will be talking about Taylor Swift. More applause. And her new album, The Life of a Showgirl. Have you heard that Taylor is releasing a new album? If you're a person on this earth, then you probably have. Anyway, it's 12 tracks long, and so today I'm going to go through and give my predictions as to what I think these tracks are going to be about and sound like, mostly based off vibes, but also based on some of the information we got in the New Heights podcast. So yeah, let's jump in. So the first song is called The Fate of Ophelia, and I think this song is going to be clearly a transition between Tortured Poets into Life of a Showgirl. And she said this album is back-to-back bangers and that it's really joyful. This doesn't sound very joyful. Like, we know what Ophelia's fate is. The thing is, Taylor metaphorically died on Tortured Poets, so I think this song is going to be about her being reborn into the showgirl, or rewriting the end of the story to give it a happy ending, you know? I have notes here. I said I think the Eras Tour just made her fall back in love with performing and brought her back to life, maybe even before Travis did, like after she was heartbroken. I think the Eras Tour and being able to perform was just like a lifeline for her. I'm wondering if she's gonna mention Hamlet. I feel like she has to, because Ophelia is a character in Hamlet's story, unfortunately. I just know if she does, people are going to be arguing, like, is Hamlet Joe, is Hamlet Maddie, when the reality is it probably represents both of them, if he's mentioned at all. I think it's going to start off slow and then pick up at the end and transition us into whatever this album is. So the next song is Elizabeth Taylor, and I feel really unsure about what this song is going to be, just because there are so many different ways Taylor could go about this. There are so many different aspects of Elizabeth Taylor's life that she can relate to and that she could explore on this song. I mean, it could be a hype song about women being talented and beautiful. It could be a clapback at the haters who say she dates too many guys. I think she could be embracing the fact that a lot of people love her and a lot of people hate her, and she's kind of just gonna have to deal with that the rest of her life. She did say this song is her life when she's not on stage, though, like when she's out of the public eye. So I'm wondering if this is gonna touch on the fact that we don't actually know who she is, the same way we don't know who Elizabeth Taylor is. We just kind of have these ideas of them in our heads. Like, is this an identity crisis Taylor Swift song? She said this album's joyful, so I don't know if that really makes sense. I'm leaning towards it being a hype song for women, but I'm not sure. I'm not confident about that one. Opalite is track 3, which is my claimed song, if anybody cares. I feel like everyone's claiming this song. And the thing about it is it's just a safe bet because track 3s always eat. Like Style, I Did Something Bad, My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys. Like, you know it's going to be good. And Travis also said it's his favorite song right now, which I don't know if that makes me more confident in my choice or if I should be nervous. I feel like a lot of people, myself included, are claiming this song because it sounds pretty, which is ironic because it's a man-made gem meant to imitate the real thing. I heard it can also imitate moonstone, so I'm like, is this going to connect back to Bejeweled? I have 2 predictions about what I think this song is going to be. The first is that it's going to be if Dear Reader and Mirrorball were glitter gel pen songs. Like, You Should Find Another Guiding Light, But I Shine So Bright, I think could be the thesis. Like, the fan base is really big right now, and it feels like everyone loves her, and I think she's probably afraid of, like, a flip happening. Like, after 1989, when everyone went from loving her to hating her, I think she's worried about that happening again, and she might go into that on this song. I wrote, we see her as an opal right now, but what if she's really just an opalite? Would we still love her the same? And the T is we would, but that doesn't stop her from worrying about it. But again, that does not sound like a happy song. So my alternative theory is that I think it could be talking about the ways her and other female artists have to change and evolve to stay relevant. Like, whatever the starting material was for the Opalite, it probably went through all these intense physical changes to get it to where it is. Like, it was probably put through a blast furnace and then carved with a diamond stone cutter, or, you know, what, I don't know how Opalites are made. But, you know, all the hard work and self-improvement, I guess, that female artists have to put in to become these Opalites that we love so much. Again, could be a girl boss hype song, or could be, you know, a vulnerable song about her insecurities. See how I'm playing both sides of the fence? I have my bases covered. Track 4 is Father Figure, and this one scares me the most out of all the tracks on this. Like, we know it's not going to be about Scott Swift, so I'm like, is it about Travis? I'm not ready for that. Me personally, I'm not ready for it. I feel like it has to be a freaky song, though, because if you're anything like me, you probably saw the edits of Taylor Swift to the George Michael song Father Figure on TikTok. Specifically the ones where she's wearing the Midnight's cutout bodysuit that she just absolutely loves and looks great in. I have to believe she saw those edits, because how else would we have gotten here? It just makes sense. I don't know why I'm so nervous. Like, I guess we've never seen Taylor do a freaky song. The most risque lyrics she has are like scratches down his back from So It Goes and The Altar Is My Hips in False God, and those are pretty tame compared to what this song title implies. It's giving Taylor trying to do Sabrina, and I'm like, can she do that? The thing is, Taylor's a millennial, and I feel like her trying to do a freaky song could be a little cringe. I hope she proves me wrong, though. I should have a little more faith in her. I also wrote, it could be societal commentary about older men going after younger women, like a call out to how weird the original song is, because that's kind of what it's about. But yeah, I don't think we're getting feminist anthem Father Figure. I think we're getting freaky Father Figure. And having it right before Eldest Daughter is especially crazy, because we know Eldest Daughter is going to be a vulnerable, probably more wholesome song, but we have to let her cook. So, Eldest Daughter, track 5. Clearly this is going to be about her family. Like, what else could it be about? Probably her and her parents mostly, but also her brother. She probably has to worry about their safety all the time, and also just how their relationship to her affects their daily lives. And I'm sure they've all made peace with the situation, but I'm sure it's still difficult for Taylor to grapple with. I mean, she also talked in the podcast about her father's medical struggles this year, and I think this song would have had to be written before that because of production timelines, but I feel like those details are probably going to be important to whatever narrative she tells in this song. Like, in general, watching your parents get older is difficult, and she's had to deal with that, as well as Andrea's health struggles. I think she's going to do the Taylor Swift thing where she makes this song very specifically about her life, but magically is able to make it really accessible to the general public. I'm trying to think of an example. Like, I feel like I Can Do It With a Broken Heart is very specifically about her, but yet we can all relate to it to some capacity. So I have an older sibling, so I'm sure she is going to really love this song. I feel like I'm going to enjoy it, but, you know, I'm not the eldest daughter. I'm the youngest daughter. Ruin the Friendship. Obviously, this could be about Blake Lively, and I don't really want to get into that because people have such strong opinions about what they think happened, both with Taylor and Blake's relationship and also the lawsuit. And the reality is, we don't really know anything about either situation, and people like to pretend they do, but maybe this song will tell us. But what I want this song to be, what I'd prefer would be, is a romantic song. Possibly like folklore style, in the sense that it combines a little bit of fiction with real parts of her life. Because the implication is, let's ruin the friendship and become lovers. But her and Travis didn't really start off as friends. Like, you know, she saw the clip on the podcast and presumably reached out to him. That doesn't feel like, oh, they became friends and then they grew closer. But again, we don't have the full story of what happened. Maybe they like got together casually and like tested the waters and then they quickly fell for one another. Or yeah, maybe it's just a bit of fiction about two friends pining after each other. I'm okay with either. I just hope it's a romance song, which would lead us right into actually romantic, naturally. And I am soft claiming this one. This is like my secondary claim. Are we allowed to do that? I'm doing it. Because I think this is going to be like very reputation coded. I don't know why. Just a hunch. But the title is giving like, it's throwing shade. You know, like this is actually romantic, unlike whatever y'all were doing. I feel like it's going to be a little scandalous. Kind of like So It Goes and Dress. Again, just a hunch. But I think the energy is going to be every love I've known in comparison is a failure. And also, all the boys in their expensive cars, Range Rovers and the Jaguars, never took me quite where you do. Even though Travis is literally driving her around in expensive cars, I think it's going to be, guess what? He did everything you did and he drove me around in an expensive car. So what about it? I wrote Illicit Affairs glitter gel pen song. I'm not sure about that. Like, you showed me colors you know I can't see with anyone else. Because that's kind of what the title implies. Yeah, even though the title sounds very wholesome and sweet, I just have a gut feeling it's going to sound like a Reputation song. I think it's going to have a beat, and I think it's going to be very intense, like the way Ready For It is. I don't think this is going to be a You Are In Love, but maybe I'll be proven wrong. Now, you want to talk about Reputation-coded songs. The next track is Wishlist, and Seven Rings by Ariana Grande. There's not much else to say. What's it like to brag about raking in dollars? I think she's finally going to tell us, and I'm saying speak up. I don't even care. So many female artists brag about getting money, and even more male artists do it. But as usual, no one has an issue until it's Taylor. I'm choosing to let myself enjoy this song, if that's what it ends up being about. I want the Girl Boss Taylor Swift song about working hard and getting money. I want to go shopping and listen to Wishlist by Taylor Swift. And so should you. Imagine if it's not even about money. It could be about her getting her master's back. I haven't talked about that yet, which is a problem. Anyways, next up is Wood. Which, you know, what even is Wood? I've seen so many theories about what this song could be, and none of them really feel correct. Remember when Taylor read the track list on New Heights and she was going through the song, she was like, Wish List, Wood, and Jason was just like, nice.
Wood, nice.
That pretty much sums up how I feel about this song. Like, I have no idea what it's going to be about, but I'm like, every time I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, like Wood. I don't think it's wood in a suggestive way. My best guess is like wood is in a forest, or maybe like a wooden stage, because it like the visuals are giving theater. I have a feeling it's a song where the title is only said once, like Betty. It could be Knock on Wood. Like, I hope we're endgame, but I don't want to jinx it. That seems like a very Taylor thing to do. I have no idea how she's going to make this work, but I just know she is because it's Taylor. Ooh, okay. Next is Canceled. And she kind of pulled a Shane Dawson, Jeffree Star with this one. Remember when they released that ugly palette? And it was called the Canceled palette. So whenever you searched their names and the word canceled, the palette came up instead of anything unsavory. I feel as though she might have done that on purpose. I wouldn't blame her even if she did. Now, my dark horse in the running for this video is that I think Canceled's being used in a different context than we usually see it today. Like, I think she's trying to trick us. And I could be wrong because she does like to use slang album titles like Down Bad and This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things. But she also likes to trick us with song titles. Like, when the Reputation tracklist came out, everyone thought Don't Blame Me was going to be her playing the victim. And another example would be Closure, where you'd think it's about her making peace with the situation, but in reality, she's spiteful and bitter and, like, not over the situation. So I think there are two different ways that canceled could be being used here. The first is, what if the show got canceled? What would the showgirl be without the show? And I think this would be so interesting because it could be a reflection on the pandemic when her Lover shows got canceled and her feelings about being able to perform again and being able to do the Eras tour. I also think it could be something like, cancel my plans just in case you call. Like, I'm gonna cancel my show to go be with my man. And she would literally never, but I think she might write a fictional song about doing so, because Travis kind of turned her world upside down. Like, not really, but for a while it seemed like they were both flying across the world every week just to be with each other. So I think it could be a Willow style song, like begging for you to take my hand, wreck my plans, that's my man. And even if it doesn't happen on this specific song, I hope we see that somewhere on this album. I feel like those three songs are going to be hit after hit. Like, Actually Romantic, Wishlist, and Canceled just sound like they're going to be a really strong group of songs on this album. Now, the next song is called Honey, and I have a feeling I am not going to like this song. I'm worried it's going to be kind of old-timey, and she's going to use her faux southern accent, which, if you like those songs, you know, great for you. I personally don't like those ones as much. I didn't even write that much about it. I said maybe honey's being used as a term of endearment about Travis. It could also be voiced like honey. None of those ideas sound super interesting to me. I don't think we're doing Queen Bee honey. I don't know what it is. I guess I usually like, you know, fast-paced, upbeat songs, and I think this one's going to be a little slower, especially because it's like towards the end of an album, so I think we're going to have a slow moment with Honey, and then we're going to pick it back up with, and here we are, The Life of a Showgirl, featuring Sabrina Carpenter, and I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of nervous for this one. I'm excited, but also nervous, just because I feel like the closing track should just be Taylor for this specific album, because when Taylor first talked about losing her masters, she said in an Instagram post, here, I'll read it, "I was given an opportunity to sign back up to Big Machine Records and earn one album back at a time. One for every new one I turned in." I don't think people talk about this enough, because I think about this all the time. In another universe, TS12 would have gotten her masters back. And I have to think she's very aware of this, given how much she's thought about the situation, and I think that's part of the reason this album is such a big deal to her and why she's hyped it up so much. Because instead, she was able to get her masters back with only 5 new albums instead of 6. She did it on her own terms, and now she's bigger than ever. Like, how is it possible for someone to win that much? It's, like, really crazy. But I think this should be a solo moment to celebrate all of this. I am warming up to the idea because at the end of the day, Sabrina was on the Eras tour. Like, she was part of this journey Taylor's been on for the last 4 to 5 years. And I've also seen people say this is going to be Taylor passing the torch to Sabrina, which I think could be very beautiful. Like, you can see how much Sabrina's learned from her, both as a friend and a mentor, like having all the different tour outfits, changing the Juno pose every night. Not that Taylor invented having different tour outfits, but there's a way Sabrina is going about her career and her music which feels very reminiscent to Taylor, even though she's not trying to copy her style or her sound. I think it's the way she's incorporating personal details from her life into her music, like having Barry in the Please 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 music video, singing about Camila Cabello and Shawn Mendes. And there's also something to be said about the outrage people are having over Man's Best Friend right now. The switch up from people loving her for Short and Sweet and now hating her for Man's Best Friend. I feel like I've seen this film before with another big female artist. Many female artists, actually. History continues to repeat itself, so the more angry people get about Man's Best Friend, the more I'm supportive of her being featured on Taylor's album. Alright, so those are my current guesses as to how I think this album's gonna go. I think it's gonna be a lot of I'm in love, a lot of girl boss behaviors, and a dash of shading her exes, maybe some clapping back at the haters, and a little bit talking about her family, because eldest daughter. I didn't really talk too much about her getting her masters back on any of these songs, and I think this album had to be written before she actually got her masters back, so I'm curious to see if it's even going to come up. My guess is Wishless or The Life of a Showgirl is where we might see some her talking about that. I'm just so excited for this album. It feels like it's going to be a breath of fresh air after Tortured Poets, but also just her last few albums in general. Like, Midnight's was a pop album, but it wasn't really. And I kind of was worried after Midnight's and Tortured Poets that Taylor was just going to do whatever she wants, which seemed to be release all of her music as much as she wants and continue to work with Jack and Aaron. And that would have been fine, but it's nice to see that she's kind of working at her craft here. Like, she's working with Max Martin and Shellback again, and she cut it down to 12 songs and seems to be insisting that there aren't more coming, which who knows how true that is. I'm choosing to believe her, but I wouldn't be surprised if more show up. But yeah, it's nice to see that she's willing to like work towards producing like a really strong album, even though at this point she could just give us whatever she wants. So yeah, as a fan, I just appreciate that, and I'm super excited. Let me know what you guys think this album's gonna sound like. Are you excited? Are you nervous? She did set the bar really high in the New Heights podcast. She said back-to-back bangers. So are you guys thinking this is gonna be no skips? Yeah, just let me know your thoughts below. Goodbye.